Vibes.
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 Vibes. Vibes.
I'm the king of the world! Oh, that's hot.
Just try to make that shit as bass as possible. I just try to make it based. I try to bring the heat. That's all I try to do.
I can't believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe...
Fuck the cops! Fuck the cops!
Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot.
I love dinosaurs. I love dinosaur stuff.
Hey there, friends and family. This is Dan. I'm here at the Dan and Adam Are Afraid podcast. It is Sunday, April 19, 2026. It is episode 96. Thanks for joining us on episode 96, folks. It is a Sunday, and we're glad to be here today. I'm delighted to be joined by my pockmarked friend, Adam.
Yes, that's right, everybody. I am Adam. Dan, thanks for having me here. I hope you have some acne cream for me.
Got no such thing, Adam. Sorry about that, bud.
Looks like
You're just going to have to live your life.
Looks like I could star in
Adam,
a Benny Safdie movie.
You have no power here.
I said Benny Safdie. I meant Josh Safdie.
How dare you, man? That's the wrong brother. That's the wrong brother.
Brother, could you spare a director?
How you doing this week, Adam? It is it's mid-April. It's about to be 420, Adam. You got some 420 plans for Monday?
420, blaze it. I believe that's a quote by the Buddha.
Blaze it.
I love dinosaurs. I love dinosaur stuff.
Do you like that one? Is that a good sample?
That's good. That's good. Everyone needs to know where I stand. I love dinosaur stuff.
Well, I got a topic today, Adam. Do you have anything to bring up? Do you have anything happen this week? You got anything for me, bud?
I got a lot of dinosaur stuff. I do get a lot of dinosaur stuff. Now, this has been a pretty low-key week for me.
Oh, that's hot.
I've been saying that a lot. I don't even know what that's from, but I've just been walking.
Yeah, what are you doing with your life, buddy? I went over to your house like a week ago. We hung out before the... What do we talk? Not Scarface. Memento. Memento was great. Loved Memento. Still thinking about it.
Yeah, I want to watch that movie.
Sandy Jenkins?
Yeah. I'm sick of hearing about the guy.
Sandy Jenkins.
Remember Sandy Jenkins. The episode's coming soon, folks. I'm a little behind, but we'll be caught up soon, everybody. Believe that. Well, I got some topics to bring up. Did you hear about the geese discourse this week?
No.
Do you even know who geese are?
Do I know who... I mean, I know what a goose is. Is this something different?
Geese is a band. They're like a rock band out of somewhere. I don't know where they're from, but they blew up last year. They blew up. There's a huge hype machine around them. The article from Wired this week was, the fanfare around the band Geese was actually a psyop. The Brooklyn band Geese was labeled an industry plant by those who questioned its sudden ubiquity. Maybe it was. And it gets into this whole... this whole story. It says, Brooklyn indie rockers Geese shot to the heights of rock and roll fame at the end of the 2025. Their fourth album, Getting Killed, was released in late September and dominated the year's top 10 lists. Their fall tour sold out almost everywhere. The collective buzz earned them slots on Saturday Night Live and Coachella, and made the band and frontman Cameron Winter, who has his own solo career, something close to a household name. Now, you don't watch SNL then, right? You don't hang around those parts of culture?
I've caught a few episodes when it's been on. I never really watch a lot of new SNL though.
This is a great example though, right? Like Geese blew up last year. If you're in the know with music at all, you know who Geese is. You have no idea who Geese is. This is the normie perspective. It's interesting. But that's kind of the point. So there's this giant indie band that everybody knows about, and they joked about them on SNL. Like, can you imagine if they joked about Dan and Adam on SNL, Adam? Like that's huge.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
So the summary of this article here, it argues that Geese's sudden rise in late 2025 wasn't organic at all. It was engineered by a digital marketing firm called Chaotic Good Projects, whose founders openly described their method on a Billboard podcast. So that's where this blew up. These like tech bros were on a podcast joking about what they do, and it was all about something called trend simulation. So they explain that they run thousands of TikTok pages. They seed the songs into videos, comments, burner accounts, and fake interactions. They build entire ecosystems of fabricated discourse around an artist, and they use these networks to manipulate TikTok's recommendation algorithm and artificially inflate impressions. What this means is like, the hype around this band Geese wasn't purely fan-driven. It was algorithmic puppeteering. Because you hear about this stuff with bots, right? You hear about, Drake is getting sued because a lot of his streams were botted streams.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
What sets this apart from that, Adam, where they hire people to post online and be like, hey, I gotta have this hoodie. Or, hey, this I can't get this song out of my head. Or they just have people put the song from Geese or whatever band, Jane Remover, in the background, and that creates this fake trend and tricks the algorithm into thinking there's hype around this thing that doesn't actually exist. And they have hundreds, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of these accounts that they shoot into motion. And the idea is, too, by the way, this is like manufacturing consent, but just under the artistic realm, under the music business, right? Do you like what you like? It was also my thought, because we just watched Memento. I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Well, yeah, this is where we need to cue the old man from Under the Silver Lake, right? Like I'm the reason you love all this music. Yeah, I mean, it sounds. Part of me though is like, so these are the modern street teams. You hire street teams to go.
That's what a lot of
around
people are comparing it to. But is it like that actually?
Well,
because
that's what,
you don't know this. You don't know this is advertising.
Well, yeah, but you don't necessarily. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to know I'm being advertised to. I like it.
Is that good though? You like that? You like being invisibly led by a hand?
I think people who follow trends kind of.
You're not though. You don't know who Geese is.
Yeah, like if I was out there following the top, if I was like always following the top this and that band, be like, ooh, who's the top indie band? Like, I don't know. I've always discovered my indie bands, my indie bands, spoken like a millennial. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm like looking up record labels and just like, oh, your band's part of this record label. Who are the other bands? That's how I find a lot of the bands I listen to. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we're not letting the trends necessarily be pushed. I heard Geese. Here's my opinion on Geese. I thought they were fine. They're not really my thing. I don't really like rock music, guys. Sorry. Some I do, but it takes a certain kind of guitar for me to dig it. I'm sorry. But I did feel at the time that the hype was weird, and that also got me into thinking about what is it called? Simulacra and Simulation by Baudrillard. I've been thinking about this all fucking week with everything. I'm going crazy about it. I'm just like, dude, people like the hype more than they like the real thing. We've replaced reality with the simulation, Adam, completely. No one's interested in the real anymore. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think since probably the dawn of... Hold on real quick. Oh, man, sneeze live on the podcast.
Oh, that's hot.
Because part of me is like already cynical about this. So I'm like, if you're... Like probably since the growth of television and social media, like how much has any of this shit been organic? So that a band is finding a different way to manipulate the system, and then like it's marketing is already fake. So you're not going to find, I guess I'm not as like outraged by this as you are, Dan.
I'm not outraged as much as I am like, this just solidifies the truth that like it's a pay to win system. I don't know. It just sucks if you're a small artist and you're like, you have all these indie artists who are like, well, if you're good, your music would go. And it's like, no, you had money behind you. All these people. I just get so pissed that people don't. I really just wish people would check their privilege. You know what I mean? You know what? I need to go back to 2015, Adam. I want to go back to 2015 again and check your privilege.
A lot of people also point out. A lot of people also point out the band. Nirvana. Like they wouldn't have been. They probably wouldn't have been as big as they were if they weren't featured on MTV. You know, back in the day.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the thing that grinds my gears too is just like, I don't know. More to come on this topic, folks. More to come in the future. But I just wanted to bring it up because it was a huge topic this week, and it's been on my mind a lot. And I don't like the term trend simulation, and I don't like that they're acting like they're not botting the likes. That's what you're doing. We need to, my second thought, Adam, we need to hire this company.
Yes. I mean, that's the other, right, is that we need to have our, it's like, damn, we need to manipulate the market with our own shit going on.
Well, I was thinking about that. I was like, we definitely need to start making clips, like at least like, I don't know, a minute-long clip of some like the funny segment from an episode that we can pull out, and like just we could set that to scenes from the movie and put it on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, you sent me that chart. Clip consumption is like,
yeah.
It's like higher, which is like crazy because like there's a lot of things that I watch that are just clips. Yeah, when I'm just like thumbing through Instagram.
Now, folks, I'll say this show is not for those people. That's my only like thought against becoming like but we got to play the algorithm. But you know, this show at the end of the day isn't for them. It's for you guys, the 20 listeners that love this shit. Thank you for being here. And while we're here, go ahead and rate the podcast on Apple or Spotify. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Share it with a friend. Send it to your family. Hit the like button on YouTube. Subscribe. Drop a line. Leave a comment. Slam that notification bell. Join the Discord and hang out with us. Follow Dan's Night Out and Dan and Adam Are Afraid on Instagram. And check out our other links in our description. Dan and Adam rely on the kindness of listeners like you, taking the time out of your day to make a difference. And our bargain remains. If you leave a review, we will read it live on the show. Live on air. Thank you. Now on to the program. Adam, we watched a movie this week. Is that right?
That's right, Dan. We watched 2025's Marty Supreme.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Hello?
Hey, it's Marty Mauser. I'm in the Royal Suite. I saw you in the lobby yesterday.
Okay.
Well, I never talked to an actual movie star. You know, I'm something of a performer, too.
Are you?
Yeah, you don't believe me? You what? You what? You got the Daily Mail in front of you?
This is you?
Yeah, the chosen one. It's a nice picture, right?
I have a purpose. And if you think that's some sort of blessing, it's not. It means I have an obligation to see a very specific thing through. And with that obligation comes sacrifice.
Everything in my life's falling apart, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Do you need any help? I could help you.
I know it's hard to believe, but I'm telling you, this game, it fills stadiums overseas. And it's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Trying to control you, Marty.
It's unacceptable! It's unacceptable!
But I don't think you understand the stakes. You have no power here.
What do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness. Now look at this, an orange ball, which no one's ever thought of. See, you're already following it way better. Look at his eyes. You're looking more engaged now.
Buddy, custom ball like that, it's gonna cost a lot of money.
Of course it's custom. It's an original ball for an original guy. It's a Marty Supreme one, not the Marty normal ball.
Yes, that's right, folks. Marty Supreme. It's a 2025 American sports comedy drama film directed by Josh Safdie, who co-wrote it with Ronald Bronstein. We'll get into it. Thanks for joining us on episode 96, folks. I'm glad to have you joining us. I'm glad to be discussing a topical movie, recent, contemporary movie, 2025. This came out pretty recently. So I'm going to say right here up top, spoiler warning. We're going to be talking openly about Marty Supreme today. So if you haven't seen it, maybe think about heading out pretty soon. Don't overstay your welcome. Go check out this movie and then come back and listen to our discussion. Thank you. Adam, episode 96, Marty Supreme. This movie was called Marty Supreme Conquer the World in Japan. Go ahead and read me that IMDb plot description.
Marty Mauser, a young man with a dream no one respects, goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness.
Dream big. Look at that photo of Josh Safdie. He's a beautiful man, isn't he? So I'm making a joke, folks. I'm a little behind today. I didn't do the living document up like I usually would like to, so we're going to be doing a little bit on the spot this week, just like Scarface. Just like Scarface, guys. It's just like that episode. So join us for Marty Supreme. Adam, go ahead and read me some of the movies Josh Safdie's directed and give us some context. Where does Marty Supreme fall in his filmography?
So Josh Safdie has 7 feature-length films, and Marty Supreme is the most recent one. But before that, we have The Pleasures of Being Robbed in 2008, Daddy Longlegs in 2009, Lenny Cook in 2013, Heaven Knows What in 2014, Good Times in 2017, Uncut Gems in 2019, and of course, as we said, Marty Supreme in 2025.
Which ones of those have you seen, Adam?
I mean, Start Me a Good Time and, Uncut Gem and Marty, but yeah, I have not seen any of Josh Safdie's earlier movies.
Of course, for a period of time, a long period of time, he was working with his brother, Benny Safdie. They recently started working independently. So a lot of these movies like Daddy Longlegs, Lenny Cook, Heaven Knows What, A Good Time, Uncut Gems, these were co-productions and co-directed by Benny Safdie. The Pleasure of Being Robbed is actually just Josh Safdie from 2008. It's a story of a kleptomaniac woman who lives in New York City. I don't know. I haven't really heard about that one. Daddy Longlegs is one that Criterion put out a couple years ago. This one is about a story of a divorced projectionist and his 2 sons. Sounds interesting. I want to check it out. Lenny Cook, I think, is like another sports kind of movie. It's a documentary about Lenny Cook. Tells the life of the former high school basketball player Lenny Cook. Sounds interesting. I think they have a really interesting eye for making sports interesting for me in particular.
For all the Dans of the world.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't heard of Heaven Knows What? Are you at least aware of that one or no?
I am so unaware of his earlier works.
I've seen in part of this one. I never finished it, but it is about like a homeless heroin addict in New York City, Harley, who's just been dumped by another homeless addict. And it's just her like tumbling through New York. And it's really good. It's just like their other movies. And I remember it has a cameo from Ariel Pink. And it also has Buddy Duress from Good Time, and R.I.P. Buddy Duress, and Caleb Landry Jones, our boy from all kinds of stuff. Most recently, we talked about The Last Exorcism, where he kind of got his start. Now, Good Time, obviously, one of my favorite movies. I'll just say right now, I don't know what it is about Josh Safdie or the Safdie brothers, but their movies just make me emotional. I'm always crying at the end of them, with the exception of Uncut Gems. But Good Time, if you want to make me cry, just put Uncut or Good Time in front of me. Get me to the end, and I'm gonna be tearing up.
Yeah, I
Always
was the
makes
same
me
way
cry.
at the end of that movie. Just
what do you think about Good Time, Adam?
I think Good Time was. I mean, it was not necessarily a good time. I'm the first person to make that joke. I bet you everyone loves to talk about the darkness in that movie and be like, it's not a good time. I thought it was amazing. I think I probably saw that after Uncut Gems, right? That feels like, because you showed it to me, and it feels like something I would have been like more open to after Uncut Gems. And I thought, I mean, the earmark of their movies is like, it was a very raw. It was a very raw movie. There's some very upsetting bits of imagery in that movie, sequences of events. A
rare example of like a non-disabled actor playing a disabled character, and it's like not offensive. Surprisingly.
Yeah, this isn't, well, you know what? I haven't seen I Am Sam, and maybe that's not offensive either, but I feel like I've heard a lot of people.
Well, I'm sure there's other examples, like Sling Blade's probably good, right?
I sure do love being in this movie, Sling Blade.
Hello, my name's Sling Blade. All right, and then we got Uncut Gems, obviously masterpiece, five-star movie. So it was Good Time. Like I want Good Time to get the Criterion or the A24 treatment. Give me a nice release or something. But yeah, these are solid. Uncut Gems is just like a masterpiece. I don't know. As far as like movies that came out in the past 10 years, it's like Uncut Gems is one of them that is going to be remembered in the public consciousness, just like all the other greats we think about in cinema. Now, we're going to see if we can make that argument for Marty Supreme today, folks. But I wanted to start there and just talk about, the context. Where's this coming from? It's coming from a guy who's been working for a long time. He's been making movies and directing, releasing movies professionally since 2008. Now, usually we have a good and the bad section here, Adam. I'm going to start with the good because the only one that I could think of. He's the new Mr. Movie.
Move over, Scorsese.
Yeah,
and I do mean that.
He's he's literally, to me, like, everyone, that's why I picked After Hours, or why I was even interested in After Hours, is people always made that comparison where like, yeah, they just keep remaking After Hours. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went back and watched that and I was like, oh, it is so similar. And, even the King of Comedy too, right? I feel like they're very obsessed with that specific cinema. And they brought it to the modern day successfully, and in some ways even better, right? I don't know. How do you feel about that? Do you prefer these movies to After Hours and King of Comedy?
Only in the sense that I feel, I don't know. Yeah, I can see that. Like they're in the vein. They're spiritual successors of After Hours. Of Marty Supreme, or of Marty Supreme of Martin Scorsese. And only in that sense where I'm like, oh, I do kind of prefer these, but it's just because like they're newer incantations of that shit. So like, if you're looking to get that same vibe, that same feel, you could watch these and it's like, oh, this is just the newer, better technology version of those movies. I hope that's not offensive to to the Safdie brothers. Like,
what's the bad, Adam? Can you think of some bad? I think they're controversial figures, right? They got canceled like 6 months ago or something about something that happened on the Good Time set with Buddy Duress.
Yeah, like allegedly, they may not have the safest productions of their films. I've even heard other stories, just like because they have a lot of non-actors that come on set, so it's like it's a little bit unpredictable. It's not going to be this. It might not be the safe Hollywood set you're used to. Where here, there might be guys who are acting untoward around women.
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of that with Marty Supreme too. We can talk about, but I don't know. When I think about this stuff, I do get a little. I swing to the opposite side where I'm like, I'm glad I'm in 2026. These snowflakes need to grow up. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm an old head and I really like those old movies. But I'm like, I liked when cinema was kind of dangerous. I liked when cinema was like took chances and wasn't just like safe, boring Marvel product. Because that's what everyone's saying. That's what everyone at the end of the day they're like. You got to have the intimacy coordinator. They got to be in the shot, in the scene with them, with the characters, leading them through the whole thing. And then you also, everything's got to be sanitized. And it's just like, there's no eroticism, there's no nothing. And I think like something like these movies brings that back a little bit. Even the little sex scene here at the beginning of Marty Supreme is very erotically charged in a way that movies aren't anymore.
I mean, do you think it's that way? Do they not have intimacy coordinators on their sets?
Oh, I'm sure they do, but that's the discourse, Adam, is like the past few years, people are just like, you can't have sex in movies, and if you do, you got to have this intimacy coordinator. That was the thing with Sean Baker and Anora. I know you haven't seen Anora, you fake fucking cinephile piece of shit, but he got lit up for that because like he was like, yeah, we didn't use intimacy coordinators, and Mikey Madsen, who was the star on that, was like, yeah, no, it's whatever, and everyone was like, nope. They posted that meme where it's like, did you think about asking people on Twitter?
Yeah,
and I don't know. I'm just like, these are artists at the end of the day, and like everyone treats these people like they're fucking, I don't know, not real, not the real, the simulation for sure.
Well, and specifically about this topic, yeah, I remember seeing some noise Gwyneth Paltrow made about the intimacy coordinators, where on set she told the intimacy coordinator to step back a little, and she said she feels very stifled by having too much direction during sex scenes. And I hear a quote from her here, like, "I'm from the era where you get naked, you get in bed, the camera's on," and I think that's it. I like that coming from her, a woman who arguably is the most vulnerable in those situations. And, there are like cases of Hollywood actors taking advantage of those situations to get a little bit more handsy. But I don't.
Harvey Weinstein.
Well, I'm even thinking like of on set, but I can't think of like necessarily a story on top, that comes to mind.
I agree with you. I guess if I had to verbalize what I'm thinking, I finally can now that you've said what I'm kind of thinking. It takes their autonomy away. Like they treat these people like they're children, and I'm like, they can sign on to dangerous movies and do dangerous projects because they're artists. I don't know. It's not like actually dangerous half the time. Like I don't know. You can make an argument for the good time thing because basically the lady was saying that she was like basically almost sexually assaulted by Buddy Duress. And I'm not gonna sit here and trash talk Buddy Duress over that. He's all he did. He was like, can I put it in?
yeah. Who hasn't?
I don't know.
Who hasn't asked that question in their life?
Oh man, I just think we need to give people some grace, and we don't need to be trying to cancel the Safdie brothers 10, 15 years later. It's crazy. Or it's only 10 years later, but hey. All right, so that's the bad. And I guess I don't know if I can't think of anything bad. I love these guys, Adam. Do you have anything objectively bad or subjectively bad to say about the Safdie brothers movies? Josh Safdie directed Marty Supreme.
I mean,
do you think Benny should have been here too?
Oh, if Benny was here, it just would have added to it. But at the same time, I'm like, but do we really need much more added to this film? It was pretty almost perfect. I can't think of much bad. Yeah, like I'm like, what is the other than that pesky little thing we mentioned? Nah.
Well, Timothée Chalamet is in this, and he dissed opera and ballet, and everyone hates him now.
Yeah, because we all
that's the bad.
Because we all yeah, that's the real bad. Because as we all know, half of half of our show is covering the ballet and the opera. So how dare you, Timothée
Oliphant. Yeah, we got tickets to the ballet after this, so we took offense to that, and we're gonna clap back into TikTok. All right. Let's move on. Cinematography, Adam. This was done by our boy. Who is that?
Darius Khanji, an Iranian French cinematographer.
Our brother, Darius Kanji. What can you say about Darius Kanji? I literally say that sometimes because it was like, what can you say? If you don't already know who Darius Kanji is, you are fucking up and you need to start watching better movies. He has worked on some of the best movies of all time. Let's read a few. I'm going to go with, he did Delicatessen. That's a huge one early on. He did Seven. He did Alien Resurrection. He did Panic Room. He did Funny Games, the 2007 remake with Michael Haneke. He did Midnight in Paris. That's hilarious.
Nice.
He did Uncut Gems. He did Eddington. He did Mickey 17. He did Marty Supreme, obviously. He did a lot of the episodes of Too Old to Die Young. Shout out. That's a big reason why we love Darius Kanji. But he is amazing. I love Darius Kanji. What do you have to say about him and his cinematography?
He did the Taylor Swift "Look What You Made Me Do" music video. This is a premiere Taylor Swift podcast.
Oh, he did Bardo.
Yeah, did Bardo.
You fucking love Taylor Swift. Adam loves Taylor Swift more than Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths by Alejandro Inarritu.
I mean, does Bardo have, I don't know, I can't think of anything. I was going to say Taylor Swift's belly button, but that's personal.
I love Darius Kanji. I think his framing is always, I can't really put my finger on it, but when I see Darius Kanji's compositions, I'm just like, it's perfect. You can tell this is a movie. This is a work of art. And it's rare for modern cinematographers. A lot of them can't do that. You got Peter Deming, who also worked with a lot of people. He's very similar in my mind to Darius Kanji. But it's pretty rare. Not a lot of a lot of cinematographers are dying out, folks. And the new wave isn't hitting the same marks. I'm going to be really sad when these guys all pass away.
Mm-hmm.
And then
hopefully people are taking notes.
Yeah. Nope. No one can even afford to buy a camera anymore. Can't even afford to rent a camera anymore. So this was edited by Ronald Bronstein and Josh Safdie. Let's stop the train here and let's talk about Ronald Bronstein, Adam. Have you heard of Ronald Bronstein before?
I mean, if I have not heard of the name, I've definitely heard of what he's worked on.
Yes. So this is like an interesting thing. He is kind of like the untold or unsung, unknown, in the shadows, third Safdie brother, essentially, this entire time. And no one really talks about him until recently, because his wife just made a movie. You heard about the movie If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
From last year with Rose Byrne.
I've not seen it, but I've heard of it.
I really want. We were going to cover it on the show, I think, but that was directed by his wife, Mary Bronstein, and it's like is getting nothing but rave reviews. I'm really intrigued by that one, but he's been involved in so much stuff. It is crazy. All the stuff we talked about basically up till now. I think he is really interesting, and the fact that he's involved with all this stuff tells me that he's really important to the formula. And I guess I also want to stop here and talk about the breakup and the split of Benny and Josh Safdie. Now that you've seen Marty Supreme and you've seen Uncut Gems, you've seen Good Time, how would you be able to pick out and say, this is what Benny Safdie does and this is what Josh Safdie does? This is what Benny brings, this is what Josh brings. I know you haven't seen Smashing Machine yet, so it's tough.
I don't know. I didn't feel like it. Almost feel. I if I had to guess, because that's what you do. You're putting me on the spot, and I would be like, it feels like what Josh Safdie. I almost feel like Josh Safdie brings. I didn't have the unrelenting sense of panic in this movie, as I did with Uncut Gems. And part of me wonders, is that present? Now I'm asking you, is that present in the Smashing Machine, or am I totally off?
No, you're kind of off in my approximation. I would make the argument that Josh Safdie is the one that's obsessed with the anxiety. A lot of people thought this movie was pretty anxiety, very similar to Uncut Gems, Adam.
Okay.
You see it with the bathtub fall, all the frantic energy that happens.
Yeah, okay.
That's not really present in Smashing Machine.
The smash. I don't know, Smashing Machine have like more heart grabbing scenes?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't want to spoil it. I was going to wait till we get to Smashing Machine, but that's my conceit, is that Benny is the heart and Josh is like the soul.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
And obviously I think they're probably both obsessed with like time periods, but I think Josh is uniquely obsessed with like, he's perfect to make like in a way that doesn't annoy me, like Robert Eggers. He's like, I'll bring it into 1950, folks.
And I did not look up the whole time I was watching this. There's not like, it doesn't set the time for, there's not like a scene in this movie that I missed where it's like Marty Supreme,
well,
1947.
it's like right after World War II, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that because there was no like title cards that told you when this movie takes place, but instead you do have young people who had survived the camps, in this movie.
Middle-aged people that survived the camps.
So middle-aged people. So you're like, oh shit, like that, that sets it in time. There's all the talk about the Japanese travel ban and like their great shame of their nation trying to reclaim. Thought that was a really cool way to set the time period.
I agree with you. I just want to bring up Ronald Bronstein. He's important. Shout out. We'll talk about him more as we cover more movies he's linked to. But shout out now. Also edited by Josh Safdie. I have to imagine this was digital intermediate work. But they did shoot on film, man. So we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take this next one because I care the most about this. Music, composed by Daniel Lopatin. I'm correcting myself, folks. I know earlier in the podcast I called him Daniel Lopatin. I'm so sorry. Daniel Lopatin. He is best known as 10 Tricks Point Never, or OPN. He's an American electronic music producer, composer, singer, and songwriter. What can you say about, if you don't know who Daniel Lopatin is, again, check your privilege. Go out there and listen to some 10 Tricks Point Never. He also did the score for Uncut Gems, Good Time, and this movie, essentially. But he is like the kids these days say generational. They just throw it around. This guy's legitimately generational, and people are going to be talking about his work for decades to come. And he's one of my favorites. He's one of the few artists where I almost own every one of his vinyl. Not really. He has so many releases, but I own a lot of his vinyl. I love him. He's great. He is the god, Daniel Lopatin. He did a kind of like a master class with some kind of a song academy thing recently, and I wanted to fucking join it so bad, and I'm so sad I couldn't. Because I love him. And this score. Let's talk about the score. I think the score is amazing. I think there's a level of hauntology at play that just like blows my mind every time I watch it. And when I hear Josh Safdie talk about, I don't know what to say, but like the mixture, the contrast, the way he places 1980s music and pastiche into this late 1940s, early 1950s drama, sports drama.
Yep.
What do you think about that, Adam? What do you think about the 80s music in this time period?
I thought, like it just adds like such a different, like it just immediately like sets this film apart, right? Like normally you set a movie in the 50s and so you have 50s music, that's your soundtrack. And I just remember like the kind of like almost like the joy that I felt well up in me when they take like they sample and they rearrange during the first sex scene, Forever Young. And I was just like, damn, this is like, I don't know, it immediately like sets you into a different headspace, and like you're in for a different type of movie instead of it just being like, Ben Chili Lace and better days. I'm the big bopper, ha ha. Like where like where you might normally see happen there.
I really like the opening scene with the egg getting fertilized, and it turns into the Marty Supreme ping pong ball, and it calls back to Uncut Gems, right? So that's another element where you're like, that's Josh Safdie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, yeah, he feels like the most Scorsese out of them, because like Scorsese was also like big on doing really cool sequences. Like it seemed like that sometimes that's what he was mostly focused on, was like, I want this cool camera sequence. And and obviously I watched this movie with my beloved, and during that scene, of course, she looks over at me and she's like, "You did that." And I was like, "Oh shit! Yeah, this movie has a personal connection already."
Yeah, it was not lost on me telling you to watch this movie right before you have a kid. I'm like, "Oh, nice." My girlfriend also watched this movie. We'll get into those reactions a bit later, but I'm glad she watched it. That's cool. Shout out Daniel Lopatin. He started Vaporwave. Check him out, folks. Check out Echo Jams. Check out Replica. Check him out. This was produced by Josh Safdie, Ronald Bronstein, Eli Bush, Anthony Katagis, and Timothée Chalamet himself. So that people were like, "Why is he going so hard on the marketing?" He's one of the producers. He has money in this movie.
Yeah, like he put the movie up. Yeah. Eli Bush, that's somebody. I was just looking at his IMDb here, and it looks like he's produced he also was a producer on The Smashing Machine.
Nice. So they're still working with both brothers. Okay. I was wondering, Lady Bird is what he's best known for producing. Lady Bird is fantastic. That's a movie we should cover on the show, but it's more of like it's more for the ladies. That's one I'd have your definitely your wife watch with you.
For the ladies. We have a little Lady Bird for the ladies.
Well, my next pick is going to be for the ladies too. Not spoilers, but foreshadowing, folks. Think about it.
I'm not going to be sitting here reading off all the movies this guy produced, but when you go, some of these producers, that we do on this movie, you look at what they've been doing and you're just like, holy shit, this guy's been producing all sorts of movies that I like.
Right. They're the ones holding the industry together. That's why I like talking about them. Everyone ignores them, but I'm like, they're the reasons this shit exists, guys. Like you need Kevin O'Leary to make your shit, bro. But yeah, Eli Bush, shout out. I don't know. One thing I'd point out is he's also producing The History of Concrete. I want to bring this up real quick. Have you heard of The History of Concrete yet? It just did its festival run at Sundance.
No, I have not.
The History of Concrete is a 2026 American documentary film directed by John Wilson. It's his feature directorial debut. Here's the premise. After attending a workshop on how to write and sell a Hallmark movie, filmmaker John Wilson attempts to utilize the same commercial formula to create and sell a documentary about the history of concrete. The project evolves into a humorous and philosophical exploration of urbanism, the built environment, and the mundane textures of American life. That sounds really cool. I don't know about you, but I'm hyped to check that out.
It's everywhere, man. Concrete.
Yeah.
It's really hot right now. It's summertime. It's really hot.
It is really hot right now. That's true. And then who else we got here? We got, we said Anthony Katagis. Anthony Katagis did a bunch of shit. Not as prolific as the other guy necessarily, but
I did see his.
Can you name anything he did Lost in Translation?
Well, he did Good Fortune, which recently came out. I watched that. That's the Keanu Reeves, Aziz Ansari, Seth Rogen, Angel.
My girlfriend said that was balls.
Oh, she said that. Damn, I like that movie.
You liked it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this movie's pretty nice. It's nice
He also
to
executively produced Uncut Gems. Oh, wait, what are you saying?
It's nice to get these movies that come out now and you're like, this feels like this movie could have come out in like 2003 and it would have been a big hit.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, that's good, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want in we need more 2003 like movies out there. So shout out Anthony Katagis, keep doing what you're doing. And Timothée Chalamet, what can you say? Has he produced other movies he's been in? Is he in a producer role yet or no? I doubt it, right?
I mean, he just really pissed me off talking about
yeah, that's true.
Ballet, and I'm like, bro, we're gonna beat this horse to death, but that's just because I find it so insane that everybody was like so mad, and like the examples that they were giving were like, once a year we have a opera put on in our city, and it is packed once a year. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks. Like, but I guess, yeah, Timothée Chalamet was a producer on Bones and All, which is a very...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And A Complete
Luca
Unknown.
Guadagnino.
Where he plays...
Oh, okay. So he's producing his most recent movies.
Dylan.
Okay. Did he produce Wonka?
Yeah, that was his
no, he did not.
project.
Well, I'm reading here that he's never been in ballet or opera, so I don't know where he can speak from. I don't think he needs to check his privilege.
Calling you out. Shots fired.
Production companies. Central Pictures. Did you catch that logo up front, Adam?
No, I'm not. I didn't catch the logo. I mean, I see that Central Pictures. That's Safdie with Bronstein and Eli Bush. So
here, I'm gonna throw up the image here in the chat just because I like it so much. But this is another thing I'd point out to. You know how like back in the day you'd have New World Pictures or you'd have Carolco, but there's like all these cool old logos that used to pop up before the movie. And like in my mind, I'm like, this is like in that lineage.
That is really cool to also see that Central Pictures, they were the ones who did Adam Sandler Love You, his big little stage or his big little comedy show that he did.
Well, we didn't mention that. Guess who was the director of that, Adam?
Who? Tell me who. Who is the director of that?
Josh Safdie.
Bada bing. That's so great to know that they were working together. After Uncut Gems.
Do you remember hearing about how they were going to do a follow up to Uncut Gems where he was going to be like a card counter or something like that?
Oh,
it was going to be like something about card collecting maybe. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, that fell through. But yeah, shout out. They worked together and he directed one of his comedy. I'm kind of curious to check it out. I wonder if that adds anything to the Adam Sandler comedy element. But I posted the Central logo. I just think it looks really cool and iconic. I hope to see it on more movies. I guess I could look up and see if they've done anything else. Let's see. So Central Pictures has also produced If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And Sarah Squirm's Live in the Flesh. Shout out Sarah Squirm.
Oh yeah,
so I like them. I hope they do more stuff. Yeah. And then moving on, we got distribution by A24. What can you say, folks? I know who A24 is. You know who A24 is. You can say you don't like them. I have accepted that they are the next. They're one of the saviors of cinema. I give them like $10 a month. They give me free movie tickets to every movie. They give me free movie credit on their website every month. I get birthday gifts. I get a free zine every quarter. I get little mini posters. I get scratchers. It pays for itself, folks. If you're not signed up for A20 or A24, you're a fucking idiot.
Get them.
Do you like A24?
I love A24. That was one of the ways I got my wife, because my wife was like, I guess we'll watch this Marty Supreme. And I'm like, it's an A24 movie. And she was like, oh, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, they carry prestige.
It is literally...
Do you know what the highest grossing A24 movie is, Adam? Marty Supreme.
Really? I would not have guessed. I guess that makes sense, though. Starring Hollywood Wunderkind.
Number 2 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Number 3 is Civil War. Number 4 is Uncut Gems. 5, Lady Bird. 6, Talk to Me. 7, Hereditary. 8, Materialists. 9, The Iron Claw. And 10, The Drama, most recently, was doing big numbers.
Oh, nice.
Shout out The Drama. I love A24. They also did, I was watching that video. I was telling you, because I went to Record Store yesterday. Shout out the Honorable Mr. Jason, who got me the new Mayday Parade. Well, I say new. I got the repress of the Mayday Parade EP, Tales Told by Dead Friends, 10-inch. Very cool. Shout out. Honorable Mr. Jason. We also went and saw some music last night, and we hung out. I went to a dance club last night. It was pretty cool. I was listening to Josh Safdie talk about the dance club experience, and I was like, he's so right. And last night when I was there, I was like, man, I need to go start going to like this club out here.
Nice. Do you remember what the club name
some
was?
fucking-
Let's give it a little shout out.
Well, it was Walter Studios out here in Phoenix. They had like the main performers that were doing some crazy fucking distorted, all kinds of crazy shit all day, part of Viva Phoenix. And they had this back room where there was a DJ doing like fucking, the shit is bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A, and mixing it with all this shit. And then he'd be dropping like, don't you know all about it, Tokyo? And it's just like, it was amazing. It was like, the bass was shaking the floor, and it was like in Saturday Night Fever where you have like the colored light up floors, and like the ceiling was all crazy. And I was like, damn, this is cooler than the other show that we're here for. I'd rather sit here and watch this DJ. So that's where I'm at. I really respect the DJ. Respect the DJ, folks.
Like a DJ.
Like a DJ. Oh, but I was saying, I went to record store day and I was crying in my car before I went in there. And by the way, busiest record store day I've ever been to. It was so crazy. Line wrapping around the building. I just left. Shout out Jason for getting me the record.
Damn.
But I was crying in the car and I was watching a Chance the Rapper video. And I was like, oh, directed by Austin Vesely. He did Slice.
Oh.
The A24 movie. Like the worst one I've seen. But I don't know. What do you think about Slice in 2026, Adam? It's been like almost 10 years since we talked about it. Not really, but a long time.
That was the one with Chance, right?
Chance the Rapper, Zazie Beetz, about the pizza delivery people.
Damn, I don't...
You're the Paul guy?
I'm sorry. I don't remember this movie that well. I'd have to rewatch it.
That's so funny. Well, it didn't hold up for Adam. Sorry. All right, now normally we get into some details about, what was this shot on? I kind of briefly looked into it. I'm just going to pull up the page real quick, tech specs. It was shot on quite a few different cameras. I'm showing here is shot on Arri Alexa 35, Arri Cam LT, Arri Cam ST, Arri Flex 16, Arri Flex 16 again, Bolex, with a lot of different lenses, but it was shot on 16 millimeter, some shots, 35 millimeter, some shots, Kodak, some shots, but all over the place. This thing is stitched all together, but overall it has a very filmic look, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love that. I love that people are still shooting on film.
This movie was shot on film. I thought that was very cool.
It gives it a look, man. It's important, man. When you're shooting on film versus digital, it just has a whole different look, and it makes a difference. And I wish it was. I think they're kicking more film into distribution now. I see Kodak coming out and being like, we're producing more reels and stuff, and I'm like, that's good. We need more film. So it was mastered via digital intermediate. They did it on a computer. They did it in Sony Vegas or whatever the fuck, I don't know, Premiere Pro, and it was struck to. What was it struck to, Adam? That's a good question. It was struck to 35 millimeter for some places and 70 millimeter. I didn't get to see this on film. I think our brother Tyler might have, right? I think he went to Mill.
Yeah, I think he did. That's where he saw it.
So shout out. I saw this digitally. I saw it twice in theaters. I saw it once on a smaller screen and then once on the biggest Harkin screen, which is like their IMAX equivalent. You did not see this in theaters, Adam. You just saw this yesterday?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and I wish I had seen this in theaters, just because there's like we were talking about with the cinematography. There's just so many beautiful shots in this movie, and it would have deserved to be seen on a big giant screen.
I think a lot of people are going to struggle with the Smashing Machine because they're not seeing it on the giant screen in the biggest theater in their town. Because that one was also another one you really good to see on a big screen. All right, shooting dates. Do we know when this was shot? No, we don't. So we're not going to talk about that. But it was shot in New York City, right? It was shot in Tokyo. The final tennis match was actually near a park near Tokyo. We had Hancock, New York City. We had Playland, Rye, New York City, or New York. Broadway for this. Those are actual Broadway locations in Brooklyn for the scenes we see. Apparently Florida. I don't know if Florida comes into play. Chesterfield, New Jersey. Maybe they actually shot in New Jersey for the scenes when they go out and see Penn Jillette. We'll get into that. I don't know. It feels like a place. It feels like a location. I really like all that stuff. This is a good point to bring up, Adam. We don't usually talk about production designers and stuff on this show. Do you know who the production designer was on this?
No, I don't. You gonna tell me?
Jack Fisk. Does that name ring a bell?
That name does ring a bell. Who was Jack Fisk?
He worked most recently. We talked about Eraserhead, and he plays the man in the moon or whatever.
Oh wow!
And he was like the guy who was like really important for getting the movie made. Him and his wife, Sissy Spacek.
Yeah, Sissy Spacek. Yeah, damn, that's cool.
But he worked on this. He was saying that he was really he was like, I don't work on that much stuff. I'm really selective with my projects. I got to really believe in the creator and that they really want to, make something important and that everyone is involved and feels like they're working on a greater whole. But Jack Fisk, yeah, shout out. He also worked on Mulholland Drive as production designer. There Will Be Blood, Killers of the Flower Moon, The Revenant, The Master, The Tree of Life, The Thin Red Line, Phantom of the Paradise. Shout out last week, folks, or 2 weeks ago. The Straight Story. It's just so much stuff. Just so much stuff. And it's like, I just started naming those and I was like, this guy is very selective with his projects. You can tell. He's like only working on 5-star movies or close to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think it's really cool that he's just been with Sissy Spacek since like that. They got married and that's it. Like so many of these Hollywood,
I would also be with Sissy Spacek for 60 years.
So many of these like Hollywood producers, workers, behind the scenes, they're all like, well, I guess maybe different because like the actors are the ones who are always getting married and divorced, but then you see behind the scenes there's a little bit maybe there's a little bit different lifestyle for them. But yeah, I think that's really cool.
Well, you got Tom Hanks and Rita Hanks. They've been together a long time too.
You got Pierce Brosnan and his wife, whatever her name is. She got a big badonka-donk, and that's what people always love to post about. They're like, look at a real man staying with his wife, even when she gains weight.
You got Aaron Taylor Johnson and his like 50-year-old wife, 60-year-old wife. All right, read me that big, beautiful aspect ratio, Adam.
Aspect ratio is 2:39:1.
It's modern scope, Adam. We love it. We love black bars on the top and bottom, don't we? Don't we, folks?
Yeah, I don't need to watch my... What is it? The widescreen? I don't even know what the aspect ratio is that, but when it's like fits my fucking computer's or my TV monitor, I'm like, ew.
185:1, also known as 16:9, the standard. The runtime of this movie was 1 hour, 49 minutes. Yes, folks, that's 2 hours and 29 minutes. So this is a thorny one, Adam. What do you think about that runtime?
Oh, I thought it was fine. I thought this movie, it didn't really lag. Like a good Safdie movie, it kind of keeps that energy up the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, even rewatching it this time, like I'd say the first time the length was a little bit of an issue. Second time, I loved this movie. We'll get into it, but this third and fourth time I rewatched it now, I didn't get to the director commentary as far as I wanted to. I didn't have much time to do research, but you're here for Dan and Adam, folks. And yeah, I don't know. It flew by. Time flew by. It doesn't feel too long to me, but I can see people being upset. I don't know. This is a piece of art, folks. This released October 6, 2025 on a Monday at the New York Film Festival, had its first screening, and then had a limited release in the US December 19th if you lived in like Los Angeles or New York or Chicago. And then finally on December 25, Christmas Day 2025, on a Thursday, it had its US wide release. This is when I finally saw it. Unfortunately, I don't think I saw it on Christmas Day, but I did see it like maybe the next day. And Adam didn't see it, so shame on Adam.
Got a lot of dinosaur stuff. Well, you want to know what the worst part is? Since we are moving into, you want to start moving into notable competition?
I'm going to get into that now. I got the box office up. Yeah. Do you need the link?
No, I got it up, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't see this movie. Well. Oh, never mind. I'm safe because the movie I did see that was in that is number 4 in the box office for December 2025 came out in November.
Oh God! Of course you saw that. Yeah, it was still making buku bucks in December. Of course.
Well, the movie we're talking about, of course, is Wicked for Good. Because I was just curious, what movies did I see? Did I see any movies in theater? And I'm like, oh, I guess I did.
Did you lose your pen?
Did you lose your pen? I'm going to censor that for the wide release. All right, let's talk about the domestic box office for December. We could talk about January, but I'm not going to do that, folks. We're going to talk about December. So when you're in December 2025, hey, I was there. You were there. This is a pretty contemporary release, Adam. We had Avatar: Fire and Ash. I think that's the third Avatar movie. It is the second Avatar movie I haven't seen. I refuse to watch.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
I mean, I could watch it. I just haven't.
Yeah, there's I'm not rushing to see Avatar anymore. I just don't really care.
I don't know. I want to be like, maybe they're great. Maybe they're awesome. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to them someday, folks. Zootopia 2. I think we've talked about Zootopia on this show. It is a huge cultural phenomena outside of the United States and China. Zootopia and its characters are bigger than Mickey Mouse. So they focus on that at Disney World and shit in Japan. So if you ever thought about that, yeah, that's one of the biggest movies of all time. That released in November, and it was still making giant amounts of money in December, like it just released. Now, we had Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I don't know. I like the first Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm kind of a fan. Like, everyone's kind of, like, makes fun of this shit and is like, oh, we have Five Nights at Freddy's. But I'm like, just like with Cam Parsons and Backrooms, I try to be like a Harmony Korine kind of figure when I look at this stuff. I don't want to outright dismiss people just because they're like, oh, they're young and this is stupid. I don't understand this. Like, because that's not the point, right? The point of art is not, do you personally understand it?
Yeah.
A lot of people think it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah. I like it. Didn't see the sequel.
Did you see David? Is that you love that one?
No. This is I was thinking about its position here. That's like another one of those religious movies, right? This one was produced probably like Angel Pictures or something. Yep, distributor Angel. They probably gave a lot of these tickets away for free, right? Like people just bought them. It was the Passion of the Christ thing.
I would imagine.
Take your flock to see David.
That is
free
crazy.
Tickets.
The drop off too, because like Five Nights at Freddy 2, grossing 121 million, and then dropping down to Wicked, only making 66 million. I guess let's not even talk about Wicked. That's probably just for that month. But David, making like half of what Five Nights is. Yeah, it's just insane. Like the disparity.
It only made 80 million, right? It only made 30 more million after this month, so it didn't do like huge numbers like the rest of the stuff there. If you look around, total gross 404 million Avatar, 428 million Zootopia, 127 Five Nights at Freddy's, 342 Wicked, 80 million David, but it's number 5. I think they might have used that trend simulation thing, dog, that we were talking about earlier. David was a psyop. Next one was The Housemaid. I am curious about this one because it's kind of like trash. I've heard kind of like those 50 Shades of Grey movies. It's just like trash written by like a horrible author that was made for the big screen just because it was popular, because the hype was bigger than the real simulacra and simulation. You see it everywhere. It's just kind of like Hauntology once you learn about this.
So, oh my god,
it does have those breasts, those big old boobies. All right, number 7. Shout out Euphoria, Adam. You and Brittany want to start watching Euphoria yet, or what? What's going on?
Oh yeah, we just haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay, new season just came out. I'm curious. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. All right, next one is 7, SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants. Of course, the hit song from Ice Spice, which was Big Guy, SpongeBob, something. I already forgot. That was a big song, right? For kids.
I mean, I'm sure I'm about to get tapped into kids movies, but I couldn't tell you.
Well, you're going to learn soon, buddy. And then I also want to point out, Ice Spice was slapped at a McDonald's over the weekend or whatever on Friday. And I saw the video yesterday. My girlfriend was like, I can't believe Ice Spice got attacked. And I looked at it and I was like, is this some Ariana Grande like terrorist attack shit where someone was like blown up in the crowd? And no, it was just she got slapped by some random fan at McDonald's. She got slapped by some random fan at McDonald's. And I was like, also, by the way, this ties into my next pick, folks, in 2 weeks or whatever. Foreshadow. But she said, this would never have happened at a Wendy's. All right. Next one, Marty Supreme, number 8.
Yay.
We're talking about that today. Number 9, Anaconda. Do you even remember this coming out?
I remember seeing some trailers for it. I didn't know what I thought no, I don't. I did not pay attention to this movie coming out.
It's like, do you remember the House Party remake, Adam?
No.
It had like LeBron in it or whatever from a few years ago. And I was like, did that ever come out? And I looked it up, and it came out in 2023. And I was like, damn, time is slipping through my fingers. But Anaconda, it was like a spoof about a group of friends going through a midlife crisis. They decide to remake a favorite movie of theirs from their youth, but encounter unexpected events when they enter the jungle. It starred Paul Rudd and the dishonorable Jack Black.
Yeah, very, very dishonored.
Number 10, Song Sung Blue. This one makes me a little sad to think about. My mom really wanted to see Song Sung Blue. She's like, Daniel, come to the movies with me to see Song Sung Blue. And I was like, Mom, I'm busy doing cool shit like seeing Marty Supreme. Leave me alone. And I'm like, man, my mom just wanted to see some stupid, sappy movie. And people made fun of her for that. And I was like, she just wants to see her stories, man. What do you think about Song Sung Blue? You heard about this one?
Yeah, I remember seeing trailers for that. It definitely looked like you could call it an Adam movie. Kind of had that vibe to it. I would see it.
Yeah, it was based on... They talked about it on Red Letter Media in detail, actually, because I guess the Lightning and Thunder, the cover band... Because my mom thought it was actually like a Neil Diamond biopic, and I was like, no, Mom, it's about like a tribute act from Milwaukee. And Red Letter Media, Mike and Jay talked about their history with them. Check them out. Go watch that episode. I don't know where it is, but they talked about it. Yeah, I don't know. Gives you an idea of the landscape here, right? The domestic box office. You had some other stuff we can just briefly mention. Now You See Me, Now You Don't was still making money. Eternity was still making money. Hamnet was still making money. Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair had released December 5th. I saw Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair in December. That was really cool. See in theaters. Even though it was like 4 or 5 hours long. It was very long. And then Ella McKay. Do you hear about Ella McKay, Adam?
The hell is that?
Exactly. Well, Adam didn't become mayor of her small town. But that's the box office. I don't know. What do you think, Adam? Would you rather see Marty Supreme or any of the other ones we talked about just now? Other than Kill Bill. Kill Bill might be a little higher. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I mean, Marty Supreme should be a little bit higher, in my opinion, but at least higher than The Housemaid.
To be fair, it only had like an opportunity of like 5 days to make this money on this chart. To be fair. Let's look at January, just for kicks. January 26.
Oh, Marty Supreme's a little higher in January. Nice, good. Still lower than The Housemaid, though.
Yeah, went from 8 to number 4. But yeah, The Housemaid overtook Marty Supreme. That's fucking crazy. That's why I'm curious about it. I'm like, what is it about The Housemaid that is tuning into the American mind, the burger mania of the American mind? Well, we'll find out, folks.
Yeah,
maybe in 2 weeks.
I wonder if there's 2 supple reasons this movie was a hit.
Huh.
I mean, because you also have Amanda Seyfried in it, and she's not bad to look at either.
Oh, I love Amanda Seyfried. Seyfried. I want to say her name. All right, and that's it. I mean, we could talk about the budget and stuff. I guess we could briefly do that. How much does this movie make? Well, it cost between 60 and 70 million, and box office was 180 million. I'm just doing a quick Google search. How long did it take to shoot Marty Supreme? 2.5 months. So, that makes sense for a movie like this. 2.5 months. They're saying it was shot from September to December 2024. Adam, let's talk a little bit about the cast before we get into the main feature. Who's the first person who follows on the cast?
Well, of course, we have the star himself, Timothée Chalamet. He plays Marty Mauser. Yeah, he's the main guy. He's the aspiring table tennis champion. He's this movie's about his fucking determination to become the man. And I guess he's based on Marty Reisman, who was an American table tennis player.
Life, yeah.
He won the U.S. men's single championship in 1958 and then 1960 and the U.S. hardbat champion in 1997. Damn, he came back and won it as an older man. That's cool to know.
Here's an interesting note from his Wikipedia, Marty Reisman. He started playing table tennis after experiencing a nervous breakdown at the age of 9 and found it soothing.
All right.
What? That's how bad when did this guy grow up? Jesus Christ. That's how bad the 30s was?
Yeah.
You're having a full-blown existential crisis at the age of 9. He's like, how am I going to make ends meet?
It's that growing up as a Jewish person in New York City, you're just like, oy vey. It's the Seinfeld of it all.
He grew up with an Ashkenazi Jewish couple parents. So, I don't know much about that original story, but it's a loosely based on him. We'll get into that stuff. We got Gwyneth Paltrow as Kay Stone, a wealthy retired actress, socialite who has a sexual relationship with Marty. I guess before we move on to Kay Stone, Adam, as we go, what did you think about Timothée Chalamet's performance in this?
Oh, I thought it was
good, bad.
Thought it was great. Yeah.
Should have won the Oscar, huh?
Should have.
Who won the Oscar? Let's pull that up. 2026 Oscars. Who won this shit? Who won Best Actor? Best Actor in a leading role is Michael B. Jordan in Sinners.
Yeah, we know how. Can we cut to the BET awards ceremony and just have that guy?
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
I don't know. I try not to beat up on Sinners. I think it's cool that a horror movie swept the Oscars. Do I think Michael B. Jordan deserved Best Actor for putting on 2 different outfits? No.
Hey man, he wore different hats in that movie. That's how you can tell the difference. I still can't tell. I don't know who Smoke and I don't know who Stack is. I can't tell the difference between the two.
No, I could not tell you which one is which.
Who becomes a vampire in that movie?
But Best Actor, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw this in theaters. All right. Next one is I guess no surprise. I think he should have won the Oscar. I loved him in this movie. I think his performance is so striking and provocative and aggressive that it makes the old head scared, and it almost attacks the audience in a way where you're like, I hate Marty Mauser. And I think that generated a lot of responses upon initial release, mine included. We'll talk about it here in a moment. Now, next one, again, Gwyneth Paltrow's Kay Stone. What'd you think about Gwyneth Paltrow's performance?
Oh, I thought it was so great. I haven't seen Gwyneth Paltrow in a while. I don't know. I kind of want to see now.
Yeah, she's been doing Goop for a while. Her own wellness brand. That's her big thing now. Hasn't been acting for a bit. She was in the Iron Man movies for a while.
Yeah, that's the last movie I can actually think of her being in that I saw. I'm sure maybe there was some more, but
yeah, you go to her Wikipedia, there's more about Goop and her ski crash lawsuit than there is her films.
I love how another thing, I remember this happening where a guy tried to sue Gwyneth Paltrow. Did you hear about this one? It was a few years ago where she collided with him on a ski trip, causing him permanent traumatic brain injury. And then Paltrow countersued the guy, claiming that he was the one who crashed into her. She sought nominal damages of $1 and repayment of her legal fees. And yeah, the jury was on her side, where they were like, okay, yeah, this other guy's a piece of shit. And so it's one of those things where these celebrities, they'll countersue a non-celebrity, but they'll only sue for $1. It's just more to make a point. You remember hearing about this?
No, I did not hear. But just when I read it a moment ago, where I was like, "This is the thing on our Wikipedia."
Did you lose your pen?
She was in 7. What's in the Box?
I just tried to.
She was in Hard 8. She was in Shakespeare in Love. She was in The Royal Tenenbaums. Shallow Hal, one we're going to talk about on the podcast. Sorry, the poster came up. Austin Powers in Goldmember. Most recently, she was in something called Influenced this year as herself. And that's really it. Yeah, she doesn't do anything. It's kind of sad, right? I don't know. Maybe she's just not interested in acting. And you kind of, in this performance in this movie, it's almost like meta, right? This actress who worked in film and is returning as kind of like a has-been, and she's not that good, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what she thought about that. There's a few elements to the casting in this movie. We'll get to it, but like Kevin O'Leary, I'm like, is Kevin O'Leary just so stupid that he doesn't understand that he was cast because he's like a villain? All right. Moving on. So we got who's next, Adam? I love this next person, but I'll let you have it.
Yeah, next we have Odessa A'zion. A'zion?
A'zion?
Oh, A'zion. Oh. Is Rachel Meisler, a married childhood friend of Marty who is having an affair with him. I loved her in this movie. I felt like she was very, very down to earth, very like believable, and very. I can't just be calling women all the women sexy on this podcast. Like, I just want to be like
she's very pretty, very pretty. She is an American actress. She is. Do you notice her voice, Adam? Does her voice sound familiar, Adam?
It sounds like you're setting me up to say yes, but I can't in good faith say that.
Have you seen King of the Hill?
Oh, King of the Hill, yeah. Who's she playing that?
Do you know Bobby? Do you know how in cartoons kids are played by women, voiced by women? Her mom is Bobby from King of the Hill. If you listen to her voice and anything she's done, you'll notice it. You'll be like, oh, that's Bobby Hill. She sounds like her mom.
That's wonderful.
I don't know you. That's my purse. I don't know, man. She's great. I love her. She gets a lot of flack. I think a lot of people are sexist. She was in Until Dawn. I still got to see. She was in the Hellraiser remake with the Lady Hellraiser, Lady Pinhead. She was in Pools, and she was in Marty Supreme. She was also in I Love L.A., the Rachel Sennett TV show, 10 episodes. She was amazing in that. And if you compare her performance in that to this, it's not super different because she's still, you hire her for a reason. She's kind of brash and she's kind of like raspy. She's real. And in I Love LA, she plays like this big influencer who's big on like TikTok and social media. And it's just this wildly different character that's very sexualized. And she's like bisexual, having a relationship with like a black woman in that show. Like not even like not a traditionally like pretty black woman, like what would you call like a gay woman? What is the term for them when they kind of like present as manly?
Oh, butch?
Not butch. There's like another term for it that they use. I can't think of it, but she's just like, she presents as manly. And I don't know, it's just so interesting that the two characters, you can tell she has a wide range, and I'm excited to see what she does in the future. I like Odessa A'zion. If you can't tell. Moving on. Next we got Kevin O'Leary as Milton Rockwell, influential businessman and Kay's husband, who Marty's having an affair with. He takes interest in Marty and table tennis, specifically in Japan, and specifically to promote his pen company that he owns. What do you think about Kevin O'Leary and his performance, Adam?
I am not super I've never watched Shark Tank. It was my wife who was like, is that the guy from Shark Tank?
Yep.
And
one of the sharks.
I mean, I thought he did great because you're mostly not supposed to like Milton, right? Like, I just feel like he's just supposed to be like this kind of smarmy businessman who spanks Marty with a paddle.
I'm from the 1600s. I've met many Marty Mausers. I'm a vampire.
I love that part. And I think he did great. He's a good actor. Again, I love how the Safdies.
He's a good non-actor.
Yeah, I love how the Safdies hire non-actors for these roles because they just add so much to the movie that you probably, there's a good chance you want to be able to get it with somebody who's trained.
There's a really good clip from, I don't know what it was. It was Cannes, I think, that he was at recently. He just showed up at Cannes. He's a movie star guy now. And it was like a really respected like Japanese or Korean director just looking over at him like with disdain, and he's just like showing off some bling to like the photographers, the paparazzi. He's like, yeah, and the guy's just looking over at him like, what the fuck? It was like a memed thing from a couple months ago. I don't know, I'm fine with it. A lot of people draw a line here morally and say, oh, this is evil because Kevin O'Leary's in it. But it's just like, you can't just like discount art. Like, he was cast because he's an evil vampire, literally.
Right.
So I liked his performance a lot. It adds, without him, the movie's weaker. Who's next, Tyler? Or who's next, Adam?
Well, next we have Tyler Okonma. I've never said his last name out loud.
Tyler the who?
Tyler the Creator as Wally, a taxi driver, and Marty's friend, also skilled at table tennis. I thought, for me, I never really I don't think I watched much of Loiter Squad, or I don't remember Loiter Squad. So for me, this is my first time experiencing Tyler Creator's acting ability. And I thought he was just wonderful. He's so natural of an actor. He just fucking, once he's on stage or once he's on camera, I just feel like he holds attention very well.
Yeah, a lot of people hated on him for this and thought he was a weak actor. I liked his performance a lot. What I like about this movie is it's kind of like when you watch old 1950s, 40s footage, and in your mind you think they all talk with that transatlantic accent, or that proper thing. But in real life, people would they'd be cut, and they'd be like, oh, good, I need a fucking cigarette. You know what I mean? And this kind of shows that these people were not that different from us. And his performance is, highlights that. He's a black man living in 1940s America. I got kids to feed. I'm fucked. Fuck. It was funny hearing the goblin screaming voice in this movie. No, fuck. like that stuff. I was laughing. I loved him. I love Tyler the Creator. Shout out. I hope he gets more opportunities in film. I mean, I hope at least Josh Safdie continues to cast him. Next one, we got Abel Ferrara as Ezra Mishkin, a criminal whom Marty crosses paths with. Abel Ferrara needs no introduction. If you don't know who Abel Ferrara is, fucking get to school. Get to work, motherfucker. He's amazing. He's made a lot of amazing movies. I love his first one, Driller Killer. What can you say? It is a really interesting move to cast him in this movie as a kind of like a villain. What do you think about Abel Ferrara's performance here, even if you're not familiar with him?
And I am one of those folks who needs to get to school because I don't know. Interestingly enough, I would have thought that he was one of the non-actors chosen, but that's just because
he's a director, but he is an actor too.
He's a director. Okay, yeah, I thought he was just so believable, and he just really
scary.
Yeah, very just a very intimidating presence on film. Damn, yeah, I need to.
I loved it. I loved him. I felt bad for his dog.
Yeah, right. The whole time you're watching this, you're just I just feel like they have you feeling like a certain terror for the dog.
What's the dog's name?
Moses.
Moses. Shout out Moses from the Bible. We'll talk more about Abel Ferrara, I'm sure. Let's get into it. Fran Drescher as Rebecca Mauser, Marty's mom. Fran Drescher as the nanny. What can you say again? Fran Drescher is amazing. I loved how he described her in that interview we watched with Letterboxd before the show started. Because I think there is something, if you can create a cultural phenomenon, there's something to you. And I think there's something to Fran Drescher. There's an interesting anecdote about her casting is that at the time she was the president of what is the acting union called?
Oh, SAG?
SAG. She was the SAG president. And so they kept filming this. They'll be filming until 2 a.m. And she'd be like, Josh, I gotta go home, take care of my dogs. He'd be like, all right. And Odessa A'zion was like, Josh, she's the president of SAG. We can't be breaking rules. I just love the idea of Fran just Josh, I gotta go home. She's great in this movie. I fucking love her. We can kind of skip through from here. There's a lot of people in this movie. Shout out Koto Kawaguchi as Koto Endo. Holy shit, great performance. What can you say? What do you think about Koto?
Well, and he's an actual tennis player, right?
Yeah, played by wait. He's inspired. His character was inspired. Oh yeah, he's a Japanese deaf table tennis player for real. He does table tennis for Toyota.
I thought he was great. I mean, he essentially he plays the big bad opponent, and I don't know. I guess you definitely feel like he's very Asian in this movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I just wanted to leave it there.
Okay, I think he's really good. I think it's really easy to like Koto because Marty is so unlikable. Next up, we got Penn Jillette as Hoff, a territorial farmer in New Jersey. Wanted to ask you right here, Adam. Did you recognize Penn Jillette?
100% no, I did not recognize him. In fact, I didn't recognize him till I was like reading about like I was looking at the cast for this movie, and I was like, holy shit, that was Penn Jillette? Because I kind of forgot he was in this movie, and then I quote unquote never saw him.
Yeah, he's looking old, but yeah, that's Penn Jillette. I think his performance is great. Another like weird, I would maybe call him comedian. He's a comedian, and he's in this serious role where he's portrayed as like scary. I think it really works. Another one to mention, Sandra Bernhard, Judy, Marty's neighbor who lives downstairs. She's the one who's always at the mom's side. She's the one at the beginning on the phone call, like, your mom's going to the hospital. Marty, you need to come. Where's she from, Adam?
I want to play I want to be black. I couldn't remember.
I want to be black.
Yeah.
I want to listen to jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. And that's like again another shout out to the King of Comedy. Shout out to Martin Scorsese, his cinema, and Sandra Bernhard is apparently like a really respected like Jewish acting icon. I love her in this. She's great. I guess last one I got two more to mention. One more to mention here is Ted Williams. Do you remember the guy who works at the table tennis club that Marty goes to? Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, he's got the fucked up teeth. Do you know who Ted Williams is?
No.
He's the man with the golden voice. I don't know if you remember this, but this was
yeah.
I guess it was 2011. He received widespread media attention when he had an interview. He's like homeless, and he just read like the news, and everyone was like, he's got the golden voice. Like he could be a newscaster. He's like, hello, folks. He's who I need to do the taglines on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, just weird casting choice to be like, hey, this meme guy from 2011, we're putting him in the movie. Something you only are going to get from like a Safdie movie. Last person I'd bring up here is Haley Benton Gates. She is on a tear. If Haley Benton Gates is in your movie is probably fucking awesome. She was in Uncut Gems. She was the receptionist, if you remember, in that movie. She was like the receptionist of the auction that Adam Sandler argues with.
Yeah.
She was in Challengers. Haven't seen that yet. She was in Marty Supreme, The Moment from this year, and also The Drama. She also directed her own movie recently called, I think, Atropia from 2025 that I would like to check out. Haley Benton Gates is fucking awesome. Another very pretty woman. What do you think about her performance, Adam? She's only in it for a second. She plays, they're at the bowling ping pong alley, and she just comes up and is like, I've been trying to bowl all night. Get over here.
Oh, yeah.
I guess one other person I'd point out as like an actor is they had at the opening scene when Marty gets a phone call from his mom, and he's playing tennis, and the lady runs out and she's like, Marty, take the phone. I'm not answering this for you. And she like looks all around. Her eyes are darting. That's a really cool non-actor choice. She brings a vibe to that scene. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, solid acting all around, Adam. I loved everybody, even the people I didn't mention.
Well, and I'd like to just mention someone I didn't notice. David Mamet is in this movie. He plays the stage director working with Kay, when Marty sneaks in and watches her perform. And it's like really, I don't know. I'm not like what you would call like a David Mamet. I'm not like one of those people who I've heard the name a lot. I know that he, he's a playwright and he wrote for the movie Hannibal in 2001.
The Untouchables.
He did The Untouchables? Yeah, that's right. Untouchables, a little Brian De Palma right there. Great movie.
Yeah, we just talked about that. Yeah.
So yeah, this movie, this movie is full of it.
Play?
He
plays stage director working with Kay. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we barely get him.
Well, yeah, I just feel like there's just like a lot of people in this movie who like, you don't get a lot of them, but they're in it.
No. And we already skipped over 2 people that I was like, we need to at least kind of mention them. Dion is played by Luke Manley. He's Marty's friend who lives with his parents, who's limited, his dad says. And he, I don't know, his performance was great. I love him. He brings something to the movie that's so awesome. Just being a giant guy who lives at home. And then Emory Cohen. Do you know what Emory Cohen is, Adam, as Rachel's husband? Do you recognize that guy?
No.
Okay. Well, he was in Place Beyond the Pines. He was one of the sons. He was
okay. He was
Bradley Cooper's son.
That guy's really good. I liked him in this movie. He really played. I mean, at first you think he's kind of a piece of, like, it is funny, right? How they play with his character. Like, you think he's kind of a piece of shit, but then,
yeah, he's getting played on the whole time.
Yeah, he's a cuck. So of course he's gonna be mad, and he doesn't even hit her. Like, come on.
I know he is. Yeah, it's true. And then lastly, I know I keep saying this, but lastly, I'll mention Larry Ratso Sloman. He plays Murray, who is Dion's dad. He's the one who's they're trying to get him to make the balls. And he's like an actual like businessman or something. I don't know. Another non-traditional acting choice. There's so many people I want to mention. We're going to move on. Let's get into the actual movie, Adam. What did you think of Marty Supreme?
I thought Marty Supreme was wonderful. I was completely engaged in this movie the whole time. And like we said, I mean, the music fucking highlighted this movie so much where I was just like, I couldn't turn away. Like, you know, sometimes some movies, I don't know, for me, like they'll get so bored, you might feel the urge to pull your phone out during the middle of a movie. And I think this movie, phone free, this movie requires no phone usage to help the passage of time. I thought the acting in this movie was wonderful. I especially love Fran Drescher as the Jewish mother who's constant, like that whole scene with her when they're trying to get Marty to come home, and she's like, "Tell him I'm unconscious." This movie just overall, yeah.
Who's gonna go with her? I don't know. You seem pretty invested.
I'm trying to think, like, were there any criticisms I even had of this movie? And honestly, Dan, I can go ahead and say no. It's kind of like when I saw Uncut Gems. I didn't have any criticisms of that movie, and like more sex scenes like that. I love Gwyneth Paltrow. She's so hot.
Yeah, it was erotically charged. A lot of those in this movie.
They're calling it the sexiest Safdie film.
So what do we? What am I thinking? When I first saw Marty Supreme, I think I came out of the theater and I said I was disappointed. I was like, it's not as good as I thought, and I think it's because the first time I saw it, it was like a mirror. It was like looking into a mirror and seeing Marty and being like, this guy's an asshole. He doesn't deserve to make it, and he's not going to make it. And I think I saw a lot of myself in Marty, and now, you know, digesting this film over many months and many rewatches now, I can confidently say that Marty reminds me of myself and my ambition and desire to be bigger than I will likely be. And, you know, the scene that hits me the hardest with that stuff is when he talks to Rachel like she's an NPC. He's like, hey, you know, he's like, my dreams matter. You don't have any dreams. You just live day to day and, you know, figure it out as you go. That's not me. It's like, I got a goal, I got a purpose, and it's not a gift. It's a curse. You know, I have to see this very specific purpose through. And just the egotism and larger than life attitude. You know, I don't even think about if this doesn't work out. Reminds me of myself in a way that's uncomfortable, and I think might be uncomfortable for a lot of people. Maybe myself in a very specific personal way, but that struck me on my first watch as being hard to watch, and I was just like, why is he treating Rachel so bad? And on various rewatches, I've warmed to it, and I understand that this movie's about someone who's not perfect and who's trying to figure it out and going through all this stuff. And, you know, I just love this movie as well. I don't have any issues with it at all anymore. If I had to get into like a broader discussion on the movie and its hauntological themes that are interesting to me is the 80s music again. If you don't know anything about the original premise of the movie and what he wanted to do at the ending, is he wanted to kind of have like a flash forward at the ending where Marty is with his kid at a concert in the 80s. And he's basically remembering his life. And that's Marty Supreme. And that's why you have the 80s pastiche music in the background. It's him remembering his life in the 80s, looking back at it. And I just think that that's a really interesting element that makes my mind really start beeping and generating stuff when I think about it. I really like that element a lot. What else do I have to say about Marty Supreme? I think it's a movie in a sea of things that aren't actually movies, that are just content. It's so rare to get something that's like so obviously 5 stars and like a classic. And I hope we get more Marty Supremes.
I think that's a very good way to put it too, because like we said, a lot of movies that come out nowadays, like they're either direct adaptations. There's, you know, they're content in some sort of universe. You know, you have like anything superhero that comes out, which maybe is waning nowadays. And I think hopefully we're getting more of like stuff like, hopefully we're going to get more things like this, and we need them to be, you know, like you point, like I said it earlier, and you highlighted it, you know, films that could have come out in 2003. You know, this kind of has that vibe too, where it's like, oh, this is a film that Martin Scorsese would have made in the 80s, where it's a film about a guy who has this goal, and this very specific, almost niche goal of being a table tennis champion. And it's funny how in the wrong hands, a movie like this sucks. You know, in the wrong hands, a movie like this is over the top with Sylvester Stallone. But I think I think Josh Safdie just has a certain way of like, just the way he has of making me interested in table tennis, and where I was like, oh my God, you know, and like the Forrest Gump jokes didn't even come up in my head while watching this. Came up in my wife's head. She said it. She was like, I thought we already had a table tennis movie and it was called Forrest Gump. And I had to be like, stop it.
Balls of Fury?
Yeah, Balls of Fury.
Let's talk about that, Adam. What did your wife think about Marty Supreme? What did the female mind think about this one?
I mean,
the ladies.
The ladies. She was into it. You know, we paused it to like eat some dinner, and while we ate dinner, we like, because I don't like to watch movies while I eat, because like there's too much time where I'm like looking down at my food or something, and I miss the movie. So we watched a little Vampire Diaries, which will make an appearance on this show at some point.
Are you still watching that? Are you rewatching it?
Well, I just threw on episode 1, season 1 the other day. It's
okay.
Like a proper millennial, we have background noise.
This is what Adam does in his normal life, is he just watches TV shows on repeat.
Yeah.
She liked it though?
She did. She was a big fan of it. Like, it's kind of rare when she's the one who's like, oh, can we put that back on? And I was happy to oblige. I think
my girlfriend hated it. So there you go.
Interesting. I mean, this is not a very female centric movie, right?
No, and she just doesn't like anything that makes her feel anxious.
I didn't get that. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I didn't get the big anxious. I wasn't feeling very anxious during this movie.
Where's your wife at? Was she anxious?
I'm gonna take a guess and say no, because if she was, she probably would not have loved this movie as much as such.
Did she like Uncut Gems?
She kind of liked Uncut Gems, but that's one of those movies she only wants to watch once. Like there will not be a second time of watching that movie for her.
Yeah, my girlfriend hated it because she's like, Howie dies at the end. She thinks it's like a crime to kill your main character. And I'm like, no, that's how it has to end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Howie must pay for his crimes.
I was kind of surprised that the main character didn't die in this movie, but you know.
Yeah, you're expecting it, but it doesn't happen. So I guess let's talk about the plot a little bit. 1952, I guess, is the year. He's a shoe salesman. The movie opens with him trying to scam an old lady into a more expensive pair of shoes. Did you catch that?
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's interesting.
Yeah, the very first shot, he's looking at shoes, and there's an 8.5 and a 9.5, and he grabs the 8.5 and puts it in the 9.5 box, something like that, and he brings it out, and she's like, "Are those 9.5s?" He's like, "Yes, they are." And she puts them on. She's like, "They're too small." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's because these suck. We really should be getting these other shoes." So even at the very beginning of the movie, he's trying to like scam an old lady, and that's what he's trying to do. This whole movie is just kind of like, you know, schmooze his way to the top, no matter what.
Yeah, and even like you see, like when he breaks down in front of Gwyneth Paltrow at some point, where he's like, "I'm broke." Even that's in service of getting him more money, which
there's so many schemes in this movie, down to the fake necklace he tries to sell. Speaking of Gwyneth Paltrow's character, Kay.
Yeah, that part was hilarious.
She sees right through him, though. I think that's an interesting element where I don't know if everyone else can. Maybe everyone else sees right through him too, but she in particular calls him out.
Yeah.
She's like, "You're going to keep treating me like an idiot?"
Yeah, and I think it's, I don't know, and I love how even after she calls him out, though, she's still like, "Take this necklace." I mean, how could we need to get that kind of luck. One of us needs to become single and get a sugar mama for the podcast.
Yeah. Another scene I like up front here is when he robs Murray's store. He comes back because Murray's like, "You're not going to come back. You're going to be gone. You're not going to come back. We're going to settle at the end of the day." And he's like, "Fuck you, I'm leaving." And he goes anyway, and he comes back. And he holds up this coworker at gunpoint. He's like, "I'm going to be your boss." He's like, "I literally have a gun pointing to your head. I'm going to kill you." He's like, "You can give me the money, and then you can report me, and I can leave." I thought that was really interesting how they just focus on his face, where he's just like, "Okay." That's crazy. And he doesn't even think about it, and you as the audience don't think about it until he almost gets arrested later.
Yeah, which that scene in and of itself was like hilarious. When he gets arrested,
he's like, "I'll pay you double. Suck my dick."
Gets smacked by the cop.
There's a very like Gen Z energy to the way Timothy's performing this 1950s character. Like even down to the edgy come town humor about being like, "I'm gonna drop an atom bomb on him." Or I'm gonna do what the Nazis couldn't do.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm Jewish. I can say that.
Yeah,
which that right there, that
reminds you of like Adam Friedland or something.
Well, yeah, and it makes me think that that's Josh Safdie like talking directly to the audience a bit, because like they do like the whole bit. Like I love the part where what's his like friend / competitor at the
his name is Bella Kletsky.
Yeah, Bella Kletsky, where he is like recounts the story of the honey. And
yeah, that's such a striking scene.
Like I feel like the way that scene played out between my wife and I is like she didn't like that scene at first. Like she did not like, she thought it was making light of the Holocaust, and she even pointed out how I laughed, and I did, because at first you laugh at that, like I don't know, you laugh at that scene at first, but then as it plays on, you realize like how horrifying the story is that he's telling. But again, it's Josh Safdie. I feel like being like, well, I'm Jewish. I can make jokes like this. Well,
it's also like, I don't know, like you have to, even in this podcast, even in the darkest times, you have to make jokes. I don't know. That's very like, I'm sure there are a lot of Jewish people making jokes like that. I don't know. That's why he tells the stories, because it's so absurd and crazy. That's like, it's only going to get that reaction out of you where you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just want to keep talking about this movie forever. I guess I do want to bring up here. What do you think about all the loose ends in this movie, Adam? Like no resolution to Tyler's character, Tyler the Creator. No resolution to Fran Drescher's character, really. There kind of is. You can make an argument. There's no really resolution to I probably just name people left and right, but there's like a lot of loose ends. Kay, we don't really know what happens to Kay other than she gets a bad review for her performance on Broadway. What do you think about all those loose ends? Is that a negative for you? You don't care? Did you think about it up until now?
I think for me it falls into a positive because, like, you know, if it's a book, I feel like, you know, in a novel, maybe you'll go through you know, you have the time to go and like literally wrap up every loose end and tie everything back together. But I feel like maybe in a movie, you don't need to do that. And I don't know, it adds to the chaotic feeling of a Safdie film. They have all these loose ends that they just, you know, yeah, that's it. No, you don't find out what happens to Tyler, the Creator, because why would you?
Yeah, it adds like a real element, the real of like, hey, not everything gets tied up neatly, and I like that. You know, like if it was a Marvel movie, everything gets tied up. If it's a major motion picture, that Free Guy, everything gets tied up nicely in a bow, and you don't get that here because it's a different kind of cinema. Some more scenes I want to talk about real quick. I love the scene where he goes on the world tour with like the Globetrotters, and Marty has to like play ping pong with a walrus. And someone made a comparison on Twitter, and they're like, "This is Dwayne Johnson after he's doing Moana after doing Smashing Machine."
Oh shit!
And I was like, "Yeah, shout out." Another scene that I want to talk about, the porno mag. Do you know when Marty robs Mishkin after he gets shot by Penn Jillette and he goes and gets the money out of his front pocket or whatever, there's like no money in there, right? There's not much money, and there's a bunch of random pornography clippings. What do you think about that?
I mean, a nice choice. Yeah. I mean, and at first, like I have such a I do sometimes have like a Marvel brain where I'm like, I see something, I'm like, ooh, how does that tie in? And like, it doesn't. It's just literally supposed to be, you know, kind of a disgusting way of padding your money. And like, yeah, I was like, oh shit, that sucks. Like, I felt like, I don't know. I had to ask, like, I was like, were those pictures important? And I'm like, why? Even my wife was like, no, obviously not. Like,
yeah, it's just a weird throwaway where I was like, what are these people watching? They're like, is that supposed to be Rachel? Did he take dirty photos of Rachel? And it's like, I don't think so.
No,
she's pregnant. What's another scene? I love the scene where the gas station blows up and then you have the dog running in the fog.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful shot.
And I can't tell. Some people said the dog transforms into a pig, but I don't think so. I watched it on 4K this time, folks. Beautiful 4K. Great A24 4K, by the way. Check it out.
And I was surprised. I thought everyone died. At first, I thought, oh my God, everyone just fucking died in that gas station explosion. But then you do see them like standing with the flames against the, you know, behind them.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was like,
well,
they all got fucking lit up with gasoline and shit. I'm like, are they on fire?
Yeah, like they should. I mean, I think they would have been, right?
Fuck, dude.
But that's, that whole scene where they like, you know, because what we're talking about is like Tyler the Creator. What's his character's name? I'm going to call
Wally.
Wally, yeah. Wally and Marty, they go and they hustle a bunch of kids at a bowling alley where they're playing ping pong. And then they finally get caught up. You know, the guys catch up with them, which I feel like is just such a classic, you know, hustler scene, right? If you have someone getting hustled, like it made me think literally of, I don't think you've seen Kingpin, the 90s comedy, but there's a scene like, at the beginning of that movie, they hustle these guys playing bowling and then they get caught, you know, they get found out that they're working together, and just like the sheer chaos in that scene of like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like Tyler or Wally's being like not opening his cab door up. Like, no, like,
yeah, I haven't seen it. I would like to see Kingpin. What's another scene? Oh God, there's so many. I don't know. Is there a scene you want to point out before we move on?
Well, I don't want to point out the last. I don't want to point out the final scene.
I mean, that's really all we have. There's probably some stuff we're missing, but let's talk about the end here. He gets spanked by our boy Milton Rockwell, Kevin O'Leary. What do you think about the spanking scene?
Loved it. Gave me vibes of watching Killers of the Flower Moon. And there's something about an adult being spanked by another adult, especially in front of all of his rich friends, that I don't know, it just felt so dirty and so awful. I was like, man, he is being his little butt. He is being debased. Yeah, and his little butt comes out.
His little tiny butt. It's so fun to me. He's gonna end up marrying Kylie Jenner.
Right.
Shout out, good for him. And then we have the he goes to the whole, we talked about the shooting and the shootout. Rachel gets shot. And it's unclear what's going to happen. He can't go into the operating room. And he leaves for Japan because the spanking guaranteed him a trip to Japan. And a lot of this movie is about also I don't know what you'd say, allegory, metaphor for American hubris on the world stage. Literally a lot of that is the theming on here. So I love the way, we haven't talked about it, but Marty's aggression with the people who set up the ping pong championship. He just keeps going up to that guy, and that guy's just unbelievable.
There's certain procedures we follow to talk here, Mr. Mauser.
And he just says, "Go fuck yourself. You're not going to be in the championship." And he beats Endo. He challenges Endo because they do the fake game, and then he's like, "I want to actually do a real one before I kiss the pig." And he pisses off Kevin O'Leary, and he ends up winning. And I love all the score during the ping pong matches. That's really fun. Do you think the ping pong was believable?
Yeah.
Did you ever question that at any point?
No, yeah. I really felt clearly Timothée Chalamet did some training.
Chalamet.
I suddenly remembered my Chalamet. And yeah, I thought it looked great. I mean, we're talking Forrest Gump level of believability in the ping pong.
I think they used some CGI, but yeah, he did a lot of training for this role. Where Endo probably was just, or Koto was probably just I'm actually good at this.
Yeah. So I actually have to pull back a bit, or I'd be too good.
Yeah, exactly. So he beats Koto. And he wins, and I really love the moment of shared solidarity he shares with Koto there. He's like, "This guy's great, he's awesome." And there's such a humbling experience at the end where he loses everything, basically, and he's just in the face of that. I think he basically experiences ego death, in a way.
Damn, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. I mean, because literally, he's sitting there, he's sitting there where he could. He could just go along with it, but for him, it's more about the game, and it's more about we have to play this with integrity, and this is actually what I'm meant to do is not to make a bunch of money, but it's to play this fucking the sport that largely, at least in America, everyone's constantly you play ping pong.
Yeah, that's the joke of the whole movie, right? It's about ping pong.
And he's willing to lose. He's no, I'll just give up everything and I'll play you. Let me just play you in one last honest round.
What'd you think about him coming back on the army plane?
I mean, that gave me some flashbacks of just being on that, that type of plane. And I'm sure I've never been on that kind of plane. That's a plane that was probably been decommissioned for a very long time, but it looked, I thought that was a nice little touch. It's crazy to think that he's flying from Japan probably to Hawaii, and then from Hawaii to this, to the continental United States. I was like, damn, that's a long ass flight to be on that shitty ass bird.
A good thing he won. Otherwise, those U.S. troops probably wouldn't have been as open arms welcoming. They're the only ones cheering at the end, which I thought was a funny element. And yeah, they take him home. He goes home. One shot that I noticed this time was the shot of Marty's mom, Fran Drescher, and then also Rachel's parents, and they all give him this look. And that stuck out to me on this watch as he walks into the room. He's like, "Hey guys," because he just disappeared to do something when Rachel had been shot, the mother of his child, and like no one knows if she's going to pull through, the baby's going to be okay, and he just rolls up. It's you can feel the disdain in their eyes as he pulls up. He goes in there, he's very warm with Rachel. He's like, I love you, I'm not going anywhere. And he grasps her hand in his hands, and he's like, go back to sleep. And then he goes and meets his new child. What'd you think about that scene, Adam?
Loved it. I love a scene where, I do. Yeah, I love a scene. I love how, like, this whole time he's been like very adamant, like, that's not my kid. That's not my kid. That's not my kid. But then walking in there, they're like, oh no, family only. He's like, it's okay, I'm the father. And then, she brings his kid out and he just breaks the fuck down and starts crying. And that's when I looked over at my wife and she was crying. So I was like, nice, she likes this movie. But I thought, yeah, man, like him confessing to Rachel, I thought was very sweet. Like maybe up until this point, like, yeah, like, Marty is very charismatic, but you don't necessarily think of him as a good person. And so I thought it was interesting that they end the movie with him like coming back and being like, okay, well, I did the thing that I wanted to do, which was prove to the world that I'm the best table tennis player. And now he comes home and accepts like what, this huge life-changing thing. He comes home and accepts it. And I thought that was a very interesting way to end the film. You're kind of expecting it to be this like, I don't know, this kind of like cynical ending that you get in Uncut Gems. But we got a little bit more. We got a little heart breaking ending as you did in Good Times.
Yeah, good comparison. I would make that comparison myself. I dropped tear this time. I'm just crying left and right, folks. I'm crying about everything. And I cried at the end of this movie. 5 stars. I recommend it. What else would I recommend? I would recommend The King of Comedy if you haven't seen it. I would recommend After Hours if you haven't seen it. What's another oddball choice? I would recommend...
Well, speaking of Martin Scorsese...
RoboCop.
I would also... yeah, this is a very RoboCop-coded movie. I would, if anyone here has seen The Color of Money, it's another, film where like kind of the meta story is about, a sport that doesn't really get taken super seriously by everybody. Like even people will be like, that's a sport. But The Color of Money it's very much so like a character piece with pool as like the backdrop.
Yeah, we've talked about King of Comedy and After Hours. That one's got to be on the list now for sure.
Oh, 100%. And it's and it's a lesser known Scorsese film because it's not about mobsters.
Do you recommend this movie though, Adam? Right? I think it's clear we both are in love with this movie, but
yes, this movie should have won all the Oscars. Well, I guess not all of them because it was going because wasn't the Smashing Machine also around the same time? That they should have shared. And I haven't even seen the Smashing Machine.
Oh, it's coming, folks. It's coming. But I love this movie. If you haven't seen Marty Supreme yet, and hopefully, if you've listened to this podcast, you have. Hopefully, we've at least opened your eyes, and you're going to go check this thing out. Even though Timothée Chalamet is a ballet hater.
Yeah, even despite that.
Adam, do we got a movie to talk about next week?
We have 2 movies, and I have here a coin, and I'm going to flip it. That's how I'm making my decision this week.
Whoa.
I guess, like, I should have to say the movies, so, like, I'm bound, because I could just flip a coin and just be like, yeah, that was always heads. Yeah, this is not good for podcast content because I'm just so torn. Dan, I don't know how to pick between these 2 movies. Do you want another sports related movie or should I go a little differently?
I thought you were flipping a coin, motherfucker.
Yeah, but I don't know. The coin's not flipping.
It's not flipping?
Well, no, yeah, I don't know.
What's the choices?
Okay, well, we're going to flip a coin, but we're going to say the first movie will be Three Kings, heads, or Pumping Iron, tails.
Whoa.
And it's heads. Looks like we're watching Three Kings starring Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube, and George Clooney.
Oh boy. I know we brought this one up on the
I need to see
After Hours podcast.
I need to see if Tyler can come on. This is a War Boys movie if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. David O. Russell. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can get Tyler on. But yeah, join us next week for George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, and Ice Cube, Spike Jonze joint. Jamie Kennedy's in there too. Never heard about this. Don't know anything about it, but it says it's a 1999 black comedy war film. So I'll keep it that way till I watch it. I'm interested.
Whoa, Spike Jonze is in this movie?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Actor.
I thought he was like, when you said Spike Jonze, I was like, oh, did he produce, did he write, did he direct? No.
No, he's acting in it. Yeah, we'll check it out. The only time I've heard about it is that one time we brought it up on the podcast, so I know nothing about it. I'm excited.
And I would
Join
say
us next week.
I'll tell you that offline. Edit this out.
Oh, okay. But that's it, folks. That is Dan and Adam, another 2-hour episode. This time we talked about Marty Supreme. I hope you enjoyed listening. And if you did, give us a like, leave a review, share it with your friends and family, etc. I want to be alive. Adam, do you have any words of wisdom for our wonderful, beautiful, outstanding, stupendous listeners that have hung out with us for the past 2 hours?
Thank you again for listening. I mean, this show wouldn't be anything if there wasn't at least one person listening. And so we owe everything to you. It's all for you, Damien.
Have I told you about Sam Jenkins?
Yeah. I'm sick of hearing about the guy.
That's our show. Good night, everybody.
Jazz aliens? Yo, we from the planet Jazz. We're here to take over your honky asses, including you, host of the show.
Jazz alien Quado Mono invented the Big Five sound.
Yo, we're taking you to hell. You could be in hell, bitch.
White monkey. I love dinosaurs. I love dinosaur stuff.